In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
Going to the shows to see like, what does this guy got that I
Right.
can maybe, put into my show or put into our band's show? What's this band doing that we can either borrow from or do something completely different because they already got the market on that. I'll tell you one thing that I never did, and I think it might have been because you were so good at it and I was like not gonna even go there, was the theremin.
Yeah, Jimmy Page.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got it because obviously Jimmy Page was your guy, and you did, but then you actually took it and you made it part of your show, and I was like, there's no right now, Tracii, he's got the theremin. There's still an open, like, Slash was sort of ruling on the wah-wah pedal.
Yeah.
He really
good time.
There is an art to playing the wah-wah. Closing, because I never really closed the book on the theremin and how you learned it. Did you learn it? Did you study those albums, or how did you take learning that? Because when I saw you, the first time I saw you, I was like, shit, he's really good at this. He knows how to, you've worked it out. It wasn't just like, you got a talk box and just went,
right.
You actually studied it. And how did you do that?
Well, it was interesting because I used to go to Westwood in the middle of the night. You could take the bus to Westwood to see the Hendrix movie and the Zeppelin movie when I was like 12. But the problem is that the bus didn't run when the movie was over. So it was I knew I had to walk 4 miles home, afterwards. So when I would go and watch, I was really into the Zeppelin movie. I would really watch Page play the theremin in Whole Lotta Love, I was like, man, what's he doing exactly, And then I recognized the Echoplex on top of his amp, and I knew that it was I don't know why I knew it was called a theremin, though. I have no idea. But anyways, by the time I was in 10th grade, my first class in my homeroom was electronics shop, and the first thing I ever made was a theremin. So I couldn't learn to play it until I built one. You couldn't just go buy a sonic wave theremin because they were only made in 1962 and 1963. So there wasn't like, hey, I'm going to go to Guitar Center and buy a theremin. It wasn't
Morley
a thing.
didn't make one. There was only one company that made a talk box at that point. So most people made
I got a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I blame them for my dentistry bills, man. Those damn.
They knock out the back of mowers, huh? Shit.
I don't even want to talk about it. Yeah.
All right.
But the
I'm having problems with mowers too. Are you having mower problems these days?
Oh, I mean, 15, 20 years they started breaking from that, and then they just, it's a nightmare. Wow. And so anyway, so the theremin had to build.
We didn't come here to talk about your dental work. We came here to talk about guitars and
that's right.
Obviously.
Okay, so the next thing was a delay, right? Like, if I knew that Jimmy Page had the Echoplex. Right. So I built the theremin. It kind of worked. It wasn't amazing, but it worked. And I found an Echoplex, I'm like 13. No, I was 16. I was a little bit older. I was in high school. Found an Echoplex for $200 that barely worked.
It had an old tape in it.
Yeah. I still use those goddamn things. So yeah, you hook up the theremin into the Echoplex into your amp. But what I wanted to do is I wanted it to be stereo, and that's the thing that Page couldn't really do live yet. There was no way to send one signal here. I mean, I guess I could have, but he didn't. And I found a DD3 stereo delay, and I ran the theremin through that, and it had its own dedicated 2 amps. So you'd have the, and that's very impressive.
You mastered that shit. That's the reason why you took some time into it. The fact that you built your own now, I realize I'm not even going to touch that,
Well, it's crazy because like I see sometimes, I see guys now, that have a theremin, stuff like that. They don't have a delay or anything, and they just go like, okay. And it's like, I don't want, I mean, I am such a fucking snob sometimes, and
You're a
I hate,
theremin snob. You're a total
yeah,
theremin snob. I've never seen this side of Tracii Guns.
yeah. I mean, it's just, and the reason it is because all you have to do is take the extra 5 minutes to go on YouTube and see the capabilities of a theremin,
Yes.
and then you can do more with the theremin. It's not just woo, it's like, it's a
All right,
thing.
Tracii.
It's a magic trick. You got to learn the magic trick.
Guitar and theremin lessons taught by Tracii Guns.
I'm Ryan Roxie, and I've taken all my years of experience of playing guitar, and I want to pass the torch of rock and roll on to you. Check out the System 12 Guitar Method.